Welcome back to another episode of Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Terry, today doing a quick little editorial on why I think LeBron James joining the Lakers could be a very genius move. So, again, just stepping outside, football's the thing, but definitely stepping outside to cover different topics in sports. And again, I'm not telling you what's fact or fiction. Not telling you who's right or wrong. This is just my opinion. You don't agree, that's fine. There's no need to argue. We all got our different ideas. Because the fact is, nobody truly knows except LeBron and his camp and the Lakers and all that. So, anyway, if you haven't heard, LeBron joined the Lakers today. And I wanted to hop on because at first, I was wondering, what was the motivation behind this? And for me, I was in the camp that LeBron would not join the Lakers if it was just him. We got to this waiting game where people were talking about, well, could Chris Paul go there? Would Kawhi get traded there? Would Paul George, end up choosing the Lakers? And it was just kind of a waiting game. And I'm like, well, LeBron's not going to be the first one to go for it if there's no other superstars there. And so my thought was he was going to end up getting a sign and trade to Philly. Rather, he opted in to Cleveland for his option and then get traded, or he was just going to, opt out and construct a longer term deal to get traded to Philly, because to me, that was the best option left. Cleveland, of course, there's turmoil there, and then Lakers weren't sure if they were going to get somebody. And Boston has Kyrie Irving, yada, yada, yada. So we got to the point where Paul George is like, I'm staying in Oklahoma City. Chris Paul then turns around and gets a deal. And I'm like, yeah, it's definitely down to Philly, because what other options does he have? And so LeBron ends up taking not only the Lakers, which is a huge shock, because Chris Paul's off the table, Paul George is off the table. And so that's already a huge shock. But then he he signs a 4-year deal, or agrees to a 4-year deal. And that's just so different than LeBron. You think about LeBron, who has done these 1+1 deals for a while now, which is smart. And everybody talks about LeBron's power as a player. It comes from these deals. And I was seeing articles about his power. And of course, it's definitely his talent, but it's his deals. Because if he signs a long-term deal, it doesn't matter what power he has. The only thing he can do is sit down and say, I'm not going to play. You have to trade me. But when he does these 1-and-1 deals, it gives him power because you don't have a long-term hold on him. And so if he decides to opt in, then even still it's 1 year. And if he decides to opt out, you got no control. So those were the power he was holding. And the fact that he let that go by doing a 4-year deal is big. Now, could he, complain and push for a trade like Kyrie Irving and other people? Yes, he could. But at the end of the day, that's a lot less likely shot than when you control your own free agency. So him doing a 4-year deal says a lot about the plans for the future. So now he chooses the Lakers, and I'm thinking, well, what's the advantage to this? And after thinking about it, I would say it's kind of genius. This is my thought, and I know the LeBron fans are not going to agree, but I believe LeBron knows he can't beat the Warriors unless he has a super team. And I know that he's tired of the comparisons to Jordan, tired of the narratives, all that stuff. We know he is an emotional being. We know he definitely gets flustered by all that. And so I think that this year was about finding a place where he could let loose some of those expectations. And at first, a lot of people, and myself, we thought Cleveland was the spot because Cleveland just got swept. And then your team's not going to get that much better coming back next year. The Celtics are going to get better. The Sixers are going to get better. So nobody, even with you being the best player, nobody would give you the outright Eastern Conference expectations as the champs, because you went 7 with the Celtics without Kyrie and Gordon Hayward. You went 7 with the Pacers. So coming into next year, it seemed like Cleveland, even with LeBron, would take a backseat as far as the favorites. And then that would loosen up the expectation because LeBron looks like a loyal player. And he also is free to go without those expectations that he has to chase the ring. Now, of course, people are going to expect them to compete and be good, but no one's going to expect them to get through the East. And so a lot of people's like, that's the easy route. Opt in, do one more year with Cleveland, and then let the dominoes fall for next year. So he chooses LA, doesn't go to Cleveland, but I think this is even more of an opportunity for him to not hide, but relax from those expectations. Because you're in the West, which Golden State is already in. That's one thing. But then you're talking about Houston bringing back Chris Paul, more than likely get Capella back. Houston took Warriors to 7. They're in the West. Now you're talking about Paul George come back to OKC for another year. As they get better, they're also in the West. And the Lakers weren't really a competitor in the West. I mean, you're the best player in the world, so that bumps them up. But still, it's a lot of young guys there. So now, no one in their right mind, even if you're a biggest LeBron James fan, no one's going to look at the Lakers and say they're the favorites in the West. No one even is going to look at them and say, I would bet them to beat the Warriors or to even get to a Western Conference series. Or Western Conference Finals. So to me, going to the Lakers actually relaxes the expectations a whole lot more. Yes, it's an iconic franchise. Like people say, it's a purple and gold. It's the Lakers. You got to bring it. Where the Lakers been at these past years? Just because you're an iconic franchise doesn't mean you automatically get, those type of expectations. You can be bad with the Lakers. So yes, it's a different level, but it's not going to get to the point where people like, hey, he has to beat the Warriors. He couldn't do it in Cleveland. So I think that's a smart move there. But here's where the real genius part comes in. You have so much flexibility with LA because even though Paul George is gone, even though Chris Paul is gone, you still talking about Kawhi Leonard. Now it could be a lot more likely that the Spurs don't want to trade Kawhi Leonard because LeBron is there. That's true. But the thing with that is he's going to be a free agent next year. And so if Kawhi is committed to playing in LA, if he's committed to talking to LeBron and waiting it out, you can get him next year. And then not only that, on top of that, what else happens next year? Klay Thompson is a free agent for Golden State. And then Draymond's getting ready to be a free agent after that. And Kevin Durant, who signed a 1-and-1 deal, is also able to opt out. So the Warriors, while not saying it's likely they break up, they're at a point that they haven't been, where Draymond says he wants money. Klay Thompson's dad is talking like he wants money. Kevin Durant, at this point, could pull anything. I wouldn't be surprised. So now you're in a position where Kawhi's coming here no matter what. And on top of that, the Warriors, who are the biggest threat, they could possibly start breaking up a little bit as far as, all four coming back. Now you're in a perfect position to strike. You had a year off where you didn't have to play 82 games. You didn't have to play every single minute. You didn't have to will this team to a championship run. No, you most likely won't make it to the finals. And even if you, have to be the leader all year, you're not going to be out there dogging it because they got young players who could take time to develop and they need the experience. So I think that's a smart idea. Now on the flip side, maybe, the Lakers weren't willing to play ball as far as Lonzo, Ingram, and Kuzma, or Kuzma, Ingram, and Randall, or whoever. They was like, we don't know. That's a lot to give up to get Kawhi and just have Kawhi. We don't know what else we got. But now that you got LeBron, giving that much up to get Kawhi Leonard with LeBron doesn't seem that bad. And we know they're talking to Cousins right now at the Lakers. We know they're going to talk to Capella. So maybe you move those pieces. Maybe you ship them all out because LeBron has historically not been a fan of playing with young players. He wants to play with the veteran supreme talent. And so maybe you make that move and say, okay, all these young cats, y'all gone. We got Kawhi Leonard. We get Cousins or we get Capella, whatever. You do what you got to do money-wise. And now we got our own little super team that can compete. Or maybe you have to wait to the trade deadline to get Kawhi, whatever it is. You know, you could end up being competitive pretty fast because you got all the young pieces to move and to get there. And so maybe that's the play. And LeBron is ready to take on the West right now. But either way, the flexibility is there. That's why I think it's genius because, like I said, it can happen right now or it can happen later. But either way, the Lakers are in a position where they could really make some noise. And LeBron really is in a benefit because he could have his own vision of what's going to happen, or he could be playing both options. Like, hey, if it works out where we're not competitive or we're not, favorites in any of that, and I don't have to go as hard, cool. Next year we'll re-up. Or if it works out where we get what we want and we're competitive, cool, I'm ready to go. Let's fight. I got better weapons here. So you never know. You just never know. And I think putting yourself in that position, though, to where it could be a win-win, that's the genius part of it. Now, the Lonzo Ball thing, the beef with LeVar Ball from earlier, I don't know. To me personally, if you was asking me, and it's just my opinion, I would lean towards the Lakers aren't going to just stay pat where they are and add LeBron James. I think they're going to move some pieces, and I think Lonzo has a huge target on his back. I just don't see LeBron and Lonzo working out well together, or at least I don't see LeBron thinking that they will work well together. And so he might be looking to get him out quick. And some people will jump and say, that's stupid, blah, blah. People said the exact same thing about Wiggins. I remember that. He's not going to push Wiggins out. He's not going to ask Wiggins to get traded. He's a top pick, and we saw what happened. So I wouldn't be shocked at all if Lonzo's the first person to go. But there's some dominoes still left to be played as we go through the next few weeks and whatnot. But to me, I just think right now LeBron's choice to go to the Lakers is kind of genius in how versatile things could go. But anyway, go to the comment section. Let me know what you thought. What do you think about LeBron's move to the Lakers? Do you think they're going to have flexibility, or you think Kawhi's coming guaranteed? Or do you think LeBron really wants to just compete in the West with these young kids? Go to the comment section. Let me know. Thumbs up, subscribe, share it around, get the convo started. And thank you for listening.